Stop eating garlic immediately, or at least cease consuming it the way you likely have for years. That single clove you just threw into your scorching skillet may have lost everything valuable. You might have just destroyed every characteristic that renders it beneficial to your health, because heat acts quickly. I realize that assertion sounds theatrical, but remain with me here because the underlying science is truly astounding. Garlic has been used medicinally for over 5,000 years by various ancient civilizations across the globe. Ancient Egyptian society provided it to the laborers constructing the pyramids, while Greek athletes ate it before Olympic competitions. Modern scientific inquiries keeps confirming that our distant predecessors had discovered something truly remarkable regarding this plant. A 2016 meta-analysis featured in the Journal of Nutrition reviewed 20 distinct studies involving nearly 1,000 participants. The results demonstrated that garlic reduced total cholesterol levels by an average of 17 milligrams per deciliter. That is a statistically substantial reduction that could impact heart health significantly for many individuals. Another investigation from the University of Adelaide discovered that garlic supplements lowered systolic blood pressure by roughly 4.6 millimeters of mercury. For older adults, this difference could represent the distinction between requiring pharmaceuticals and controlling conditions via natural means. However, here introduces the significant predicament because most people are making critical mistakes with garlic. These errors completely cancel out the potential advantages that you are trying to achieve through diet. Some oversights are merely squandering your finances, while others can genuinely jeopardize your physical well-being. Medical professionals are beginning to articulate these concerns with increasing frequency as more research emerges. We will discuss the most critical error last because it is the most important lesson you will learn today. Let us start with mistake number 10 and work our way up the list to the top. Number 10 involves disregarding your own individual sensitivity to garlic, which is more common than you think. Garlic is natural, so people assume it must be safe for everyone, but that is incorrect. This specific error lands at the 10th spot because although it impacts fewer individuals, the repercussions can be truly unpleasant. Garlic contains fructans, which are a specific category of carbohydrate that certain digestive systems cannot process adequately. If you suffer from irritable bowel syndrome, you might already be aware of the low FODMAP dietary approach. Garlic is actually one of the primary triggers on that restricted list and causes significant distress. A 2017 research paper found that up to 70% of IBS patients noted improvement when removing high FODMAP foods. Digestive systems transform as we grow older, so you might have eaten garlic your whole life without issues. Then abruptly in your 60s or 70s, it starts inducing bloating gas or abdominal cramping. The solution is not necessarily eschewing garlic permanently, but rather trying garlic-infused oils instead of the bulb. When garlic rests within oil, the flavor compounds migrate over, whereas the fructans do not, because they are not fat-soluble. This provides you with the distinct taste and even certain benefits without causing digestive disturbance. Mistake number 9 involves storing garlic inside the refrigerator, which is a habit many people have formed. I witness this constantly as people transport garlic home and instantly place it inside the fridge. It appears rational because cold generally keeps items fresh, but garlic reacts differently to that environment. When you refrigerate whole garlic bulbs, the cool temperature and humidity trigger sprouting almost immediately. You have probably seen this phenomenon before, when small green shoots commence protruding from the upper section. A 2014 study found that sprouted garlic contains different antioxidant compounds than fresh garlic does. The texture becomes unpleasantly rubbery, while the flavor turns bitter and loses that vibrant, pungent quality. The ideal storage method is keeping whole garlic bulbs in a cool, dry place with good circulation. A basket on the countertop positioned away from direct sunlight functions perfectly for maintaining freshness. Under these specific conditions, a complete bulb will endure for months before it begins to degrade. Mistake number 8 involves relying on pre-minced jarred garlic products, which many seniors use for convenience. It is understandable because those little jars seem like such a significant time saver in the kitchen. You bypass the peeling process, and you skip having the garlic odor lingering on your fingers. However, you are truly bypassing nearly the entirety of the health advantages by choosing this shortcut. A 2009 study conducted at the University of Alabama investigated Allicin content within diverse garlic preparations. The researchers discovered that fresh crushed garlic contains the maximal allicin levels, while jarred garlic has none. Allicin is the compound accountable for most benefits, but it is inherently unstable and breaks down fast. By the time that jarred garlic has been processed and sat on a shelf, the allicin is gone. What you remain with is essentially garlic-flavored material that adds taste, but no medicinal value. If convenience constitutes your priority, purchase a garlic press to speed up the process instead. Mistake number 7 is consuming excessive quantities of raw garlic, thinking that more is always better. This line of reasoning gets many people into trouble because garlic is a potent substance. The World Health Organization proposes a daily dosage of 2 to 5 grams of fresh garlic. That equals approximately 1 or 2 cloves rather than consuming entire bulbs in a single sitting. Eating excessive raw garlic can induce numerous issues like heartburn, nausea, gas, and diarrhea. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found participants consuming high doses had side effects. However, there exists a more grave concern for seniors, specifically regarding blood clotting risks. High quantities of garlic can elevate bleeding risks, especially if you are taking specific medications. The essential element is consistency and moderation rather than shocking your system with huge doses. Cooking garlic serves to mellow its effects somewhat, so try that if raw garlic irritates your stomach. Mistake number 6 involves taking garlic concurrently with blood-thinning medications, which is a dangerous interaction. If you utilize warfarin aspirin or any alternative blood-thinning medication, please pay close attention. Garlic possesses natural antiplatelet properties that aid in preventing blood cells from clumping together. For the majority of individuals, this is actually a health advantage that supports cardiovascular wellness. However, if you are already taking medication that performs the identical function, you are essentially doubling up. A 2007 investigation documented case reports regarding increased bleeding in patients who combined garlic with warfarin. Some experienced prolonged bleeding times, and the international normalized ratio was significantly elevated in certain patients. This does not imply you must completely eschew garlic, but small amounts in cooking are safer. The issue arises primarily with garlic supplements or consuming large quantities of raw garlic consistently. Always speak to your physician before adding garlic supplements to your routine to ensure safety. Mistake number 5 is eating garlic while having a completely empty stomach, which catches people off guard. You might have heard that raw garlic on an empty stomach is amazingly healthy and tried it. 30 minutes later, you are likely regretting every single decision that led to this moment. Garlic is abrasive on an empty digestive system because the compounds are intensely irritating to the lining. A study in the Journal of Gastroenterology found that consuming raw garlic without food increased acid secretion. Participants reported higher rates of nausea, stomach pain, and heartburn when eating it alone. Stomach lining naturally thins as we age, so adding concentrated garlic is like pouring fuel on fire. The solution is straightforward and simply requires you to always consume garlic along with food. Even a slice of toast or some crackers can supply enough of a buffer for your stomach. You receive the identical health advantages without the gastric drawback, so your stomach will be happier. Mistake number 4 is not halting garlic consumption before surgery, which is a critical safety measure. If you have any surgery scheduled, this information could prevent serious complications during your procedure. Garlic influences blood clotting, and the American Society of Anesthesiologists specifically recommends stopping garlic supplementation beforehand. You should stop at least 2 weeks prior to any scheduled surgery to clear your system. A 2001 study documented cases where excessive bleeding during surgery was linked to preoperative garlic consumption. The surgeons experienced more difficulty controlling bleeding, and some procedures required longer than expected to complete. This applies to garlic supplements especially, but large amounts of raw garlic carry similar risks. Many individuals forget to mention their garlic habits to surgeons because they view it as food. Mark your calendar 14 days before any surgery to stop garlic supplements and cut back consumption. It is always better to be safe than sorry when someone is performing a medical procedure. Mistake number 3 involves microwaving garlic, which basically acts as a nutrition destruction machine. When you microwave garlic, you expose it to intense uneven heat almost instantaneously, which destroys enzymes. A landmark 2001 study investigated how different cooking methods affected garlic's ability to inhibit cancer cells. The results were stunning because garlic microwaved for just 60 seconds lost all anti-cancer properties. Compare this to garlic that was baked or boiled, which retains significant activity even after cooking. The microwave's rapid heating destroys allicin and the compounds that would become allicin very quickly. If you absolutely must use a microwave, add the garlic afterward when the dish is cooling. Another good option is roasting garlic in your regular oven at 400 degrees for 40 minutes. The slow heat is gentler on the beneficial compounds, and the resulting flavor is absolutely delicious. You preserve the medicine while creating a sweet caramelized taste that works well in many dishes. Mistake number 2 is extremely common and involves throwing garlic directly into hot oil or pans. This happens in millions of kitchens every day as oil heats up and garlic goes in. Sizzle, and a great smell filled the kitchen, but most health benefits just went up in smoke. High heat destroys allicin almost instantly, according to a study published in the journal Food Chemistry. At temperatures above 280 degrees Fahrenheit, allicin degrades within minutes of hitting the pan. Most cooking oils start smoking around 400 degrees, so your pan is usually too hot. The flavor remains because those compounds are stable, but the medicinal properties are severely compromised. The better way is to add garlic at the end of cooking rather than the beginning. Let your pan cool slightly before adding garlic, or stir it in during the last few minutes. You preserve far more of the beneficial compounds while still getting that wonderful garlic taste. The number one most important garlic mistake is not letting crushed garlic rest before cooking. This single mistake is probably the reason most people get almost zero health benefits from garlic. When you bite into a fresh garlic clove, nothing medicinal exists yet inside that bulb. The magic compound allicin is not inside the intact garlic, but forms when two components mix. One is a compound called allicin, and the other is an enzyme called alliinase. When you crush garlic, these two components mix, and the enzyme transforms allicin into allicin. This reaction takes time, and a study found that immediate heating prevents this process completely. Researchers found that garlic crushed and allowed to rest for 10 minutes retained its full potential. The enzyme needed that specific amount of time to complete its work before heat was applied. Think of it like letting bread dough rise, because you cannot skip that step. The recommendation is simple, so just crush your garlic and walk away for 10 minutes. Let it sit exposed to air at room temperature while you do your other prep work. After the rest period, you can cook the garlic however you want because it is protected. The allicin has already formed and will resist degradation much better than garlic cooked immediately. This explains why so many garlic studies show benefits while so many garlic eaters see none. For maximum benefits, eat garlic raw after letting it rest for 10 minutes to activate it. If you cannot handle raw garlic, light cooking is fine. Just remember those 10 minutes first. This one change transforms garlic from a flavoring agent into genuine medicine for your body. There you have it, 10 garlic mistakes that doctors warn seniors about regarding their health. From storage errors to medication interactions, each of these mistakes can dramatically affect your results. The research is overwhelming that garlic supports cardiovascular health when you use it correctly. Let me quickly recap the most important rule, which is always letting crushed garlic rest. Never throw garlic into scorching hot pans, and avoid microwaving it entirely to save nutrients. Stop garlic supplements 2 weeks before surgery, and be careful with blood-thinning medications. Your heart and your overall health will thank you for getting garlic right this time.